You probably clicked on this video because you're feeling stuck. Because everyone is telling you to get into tech, that tech is the future and you need to land a high-paying tech role, but no one's telling you how to actually do it. So let's fix that, because in this video, I'm going to cover not only the job titles, not only the salaries, but I want to cover what skills you actually need to learn to land these roles. Both technical and soft skills, because those are important too. I'm going to cover what you do in each role, and I'm going to cover how you can land one of these roles even without a degree or experience, because it definitely is possible. Stick to the end of the video because I'll show you a platform where you can learn majority of these skills for free through hands-on projects, which in my opinion is the best way to learn. But anyway, let's just get straight into the video. At number 5, we have a junior systems administrator earning an average of $55,000 to $70,000 a year. These are the people who keep internal IT systems running. You're gonna create user accounts, you're gonna patch servers, you're gonna manage backups, and you're gonna automate small tasks. The reason I like this role is as hybrid work setups and cloud adoption continues to increase, sysadmins are gonna be essential to keeping businesses secure and online. The US Bureau of Labor Statistics predicts that this role is going to have demand well into the 2030s, especially in areas like healthcare, education, and small to medium businesses. In order to land this role, here are 4 of the key technical skills that you need to learn. The first of which is Windows and Linux admin. This is essentially the operating systems for servers. So basically you kind of need to learn how the computers at a company work under the hood. The second thing you need to learn is PowerShell or Bash scripting, and that's using command line tools to automate repetitive tasks like backups or creating a new user. You don't need to be an expert at coding, but having some basic knowledge is going to help out a lot. The next thing you need to learn is task schedulers or cron jobs. These are tools that let you auto run updates so you don't need to do things manually. And then lastly, you need to learn access controls. So that's managing who gets to log in, what they can see, and then what they can do. Now, in terms of soft skills, sysadmins have to be able to work calmly under pressure, but they also need to write clear documentation, which is a really important skill. And as I said, at the end of the video, I'll show you how to get better at that. Or if you can't be bothered, just skip to this section here and I'll give you projects and how to get better at things like documentation. But if you do that, I'll be really sad. I'll be really, really sad. Now, in terms of future career paths, obviously a junior sysadmin can lead to a senior sysadmin role, but it can also lead to things like DevOps. This is a really good stepping stone to get into those type of fields. Moving on to number 4, we got a network support technician who earns around $50,000 to $65,000 a year. Now, what they do is make sure that everyone and everything is connected. They manage Wi-Fi, routers, VPNs, and internal networks. As companies digitize and go more remote, reliable and secure connectivity is honestly just becoming a non-negotiable now. So that's why it was no surprise that last year there was 147,000 open networking jobs in the US alone. And from the reports that I've read, I don't see the demand for this role going down anytime soon. In terms of the core technical skills you need to learn things like IP addresses, DNS, DCHP. These are how devices connect to each other and talk to each other across the internet. You also need to learn about ping or traceroute. These are basically simple commands that help you diagnose network problems. I'd also recommend learning about VPNs, VLANs, subnets. These are ways to secure and organize parts of your network so data flows efficiently and effectively. And lastly, you got to learn firewall basics, which is basically controlling which traffic is allowed or blocked. In terms of soft skills, honestly, you need to be patient for this kind of role because there's a lot of troubleshooting and it can be really frustrating. But you also need to be able to clearly explain technical issues in a non-technical way. In my experience, this is a skill set that is typically useful across all roles, because if you can communicate something that's difficult to someone who is non-technical in an easy to understand way, it is going to help them understand and it's going to help you communicate a lot more effectively. In terms of future career paths, this can lead to a network engineer or a security analyst role, which are both in demand right now. There's some really good projects I'll show you at the end for networking. Oh, and before I forget, please like the video and subscribe, because if this video doesn't hit 100 likes by the end of the week, my boss is going to fire me and I'll be very sad. Anyway, moving on to number 3, we have a cybersecurity analyst earning an average of $65,000 to $80,000 a year. In this role, you're going to monitor systems for threats, you're going to respond to alerts, and you're going to investigate anything that's suspicious. You help protect businesses from hackers and data leaks. And cybercrime is projected to cost the world $10.5 trillion by the end of 2025. Every single industry from banks to hospitals are hiring cybersecurity analysts because everyone needs their data protected. So the core skills of this role are things like log analysis, which is basically analyzing a system's receipts to catch dangerous or harmful behavior. You're also going to learn SIEM tools like Splunk, which is basically software that helps you track and analyze security alerts. Then you're going to learn about ports and protocols, which is learning how data travels so you can block bad actors. Not like actors, but like people who are doing bad stuff. And then you also got to learn Python and Bash, which is going to help you automate checks and alerts to save time. In terms of soft skills, usually people in cybersecurity are very detail-oriented oriented people, and they're also people that can stay calm under pressure when there's a cybersecurity incident. Because as you can imagine, it is quite a stressful situation, but you need to be able to act calmly and efficiently to be able to solve the problem. In terms of future career paths, this can lead to a security engineer role or even a cloud security engineer role, which are paying well over 120K. At number 2, we have a cloud support engineer who earns an average of around $70,000 to $90,000 a year. Now in this role, naturally you support cloud environments in AWS, GCP, and Azure, and you're going to troubleshoot servers, permissions, storage, and network issues. Now cloud computing is growing annually at 14% year on year, is on track to hit $1.2 trillion by 2030. Skilled cloud support engineers are definitely in demand at the moment. There's a shortage of them. However, there is some skills that you need to learn to be able to land this role at an entry level. Now, speaking of skills, naturally you're going to have to pick up a cloud provider. So AWS, GCP, and Azure are the biggest three. If you don't know where to start, I'd recommend AWS as they have the most comprehensive free tier. It also pays to learn Linux. So that's being able to navigate, search, and edit files in a cloud server using text-based commands. You're also going to have to learn networking and security fundamentals. So that's things like controlling network access and user permissions across your infrastructure. And lastly, it pays to learn infrastructure as code or Terraform to be able to set things up really quickly. And in terms of soft skills, cloud support engineers are typically quite organized people, as there's quite a lot of moving parts, but they also need to be able to explain complex things to non-technical people like we've seen in other roles. Clearly, communication skills are very important as a soft skill, so make sure not to neglect that and just focus on the technical aspect. This can naturally progress to a cloud engineer or even a solutions architect role, which are going to earn $120,000 to $150,000 a year. And moving on to number 1, we got a help desk or IT support technician earning an average of $41,000 to $50,000 a year. In this role, you're the first point of contact when someone's tech breaks. You reset password, fix errors, install software, and help your coworkers get back to work essentially as fast as possible. The reason it's at number 1 is it's still the most common entry point into IT. According to CompTIA, 64% of employers report a shortage of help desk technicians in their organizations. These roles are often the first step into cloud, cybersecurity, or sysadmin roles. In this role, there's a lot that you pick up on the job, but there's some core skills that are going to help. The first of which is operating systems. So you need to be able to fix glitches or crashes or misconfigurations on someone's laptop, and it pays to understand both Windows and Mac OS environments. You're also going to learn some sort of ticketing system, probably like Jira, which will help you organize requests and track what issues you've actually fixed. You'll also probably learn about remote support tools, which will allow you to control a user's screen from anywhere in the world and fix their issue. In this type of role, I think the soft skills are actually more important. You need to have strong customer service basics and be very, very patient, because people get frustrated when their technology breaks and they can take it out on you. So you need to be able to diffuse the situation and offer a viable solution. This career path can then land to sysadmin roles, cloud support engineers, or even IT project manager roles. Something I want to note is that this is not the only career path that you can take. There is a lot of different options out there, and just because you started in this entry-level role doesn't mean you're going to end up in this organization or department. Your career path may look completely different, and that is okay. All right, now for the part of the video that everyone has been waiting for. Actually, except those people who just skipped to this part of the video. I'm very disappointed in you. But in this part of the video, I'll show you how to actually build some of the skills to land these jobs. So what I'd recommend is going to this website, learn.nextwork.org. For full transparency, it's our website, but I also rate it incredibly highly. The link's in the description below, and when you click on it, you're going to be brought up to this page here. I'd recommend that you log in first. So either just create a free account with Google or just create it by typing in your email address. And that's going to help you unlock a lot of the features that I'm going to show you. So then once you've created your account, go down to the bottom of your screen and click that projects button. It's going to pop up with a bunch of projects. If you know exactly what you want to learn, I'd recommend typing it in at the top there. Otherwise, you can click that show more button and scroll down through a lot of different series that we have on things like DevOps, compute, databases, storage, networking we covered, which was particularly important for most of these entry-level roles. So I'd recommend checking out either the networking series, or if you've never touched anything in tech, I'd recommend checking out that beginner series. And in that beginner series, you'll go through creating an AWS account. You'll also go through some beginner projects that are not too difficult and will also provide you with documentation. Now, I'm actually going to click on the network series and click the first project, which is building a VPC, which is absolutely fundamental in the networking world. You can choose your difficulty, so either high touch or low touch. And what I really like about these project guides, there's not only a YouTube video, but written guides as well. And as you go through, we talked about documentation and the importance of being able to communicate your ideas. The thing that I really love about our documentation is that we'll ask you questions and you can type in responses to those questions. We'll ask you for screenshots, and at the end of your project, you will get automatic documentation that you can then share to LinkedIn or even share to your project portfolio. Now, if you're pro, you can choose what color you want on your documentation, but I'll show you what it looks like in your project portfolio. All you gotta do is click that little button at the bottom there, the 4 squares, and you get taken to your portfolio. You can change up the title, you can change up the description, but I'm gonna click on one of the projects that we just generated, and now you will actually see your project documentation. So you get all of the questions that you answered, you get also what you actually did during the project, so that anyone who's reading this knows what you did, knows the work that you put in, and is able to also replicate your project, which is particularly important for recruiters or other peers in your network. Now, what we can do is actually go back to our project to the documentation section, and we can either change the color of our documentation if you've got Nextwork Pro, or there's other ways to actually document your project through a PDF, through a README file, Markdown, through a link. I'm gonna generate a PDF, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like on LinkedIn. So I just click that share to LinkedIn button and it automatically creates a post for me. All I gotta do is just add Nextwork and then click out of that menu there. And I can actually add in my PDF documentation, and it's gonna show up like this on LinkedIn, which is super, super useful. And I believe stands out on LinkedIn a lot. I mean, we all see that PDFs on LinkedIn or these slideshows really work well. So being able to showcase your work like this to recruiters is gonna be a massive, massive advantage. Now, there's so many different projects, there's so many different topics, it can be hard to know where to start. So I'd recommend checking out the website or going to our community as well. There's a lot of people who are really, really helpful. It's a super active community. Just head to the link in the description below and you can join for free. Feel free to let me know in the comments as well if there's anything else that you want to cover and what you want to see in the next video. But if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and I hope you have a 10 out of 10 week and you land that entry level role. Peace out.